How looks a normal day in the life of Elon Musk like?
Well, it's really varied quite a bit over time. So these days it's probably 80, 85 hours a week. For a while it was over 100 hours a week, and that's a very high amount of pain. So it's the difficulty and pain of work hours really increases exponentially. It's not linear. But when the financial crisis hit in 2008, 2009, it was just every day, 7 days a week, morning till night, and dream about work. So it was terrible.
And at that time there were bad dreams, I guess.
Bad dreams,
2008.
Indeed. Yes. Yeah.
And at what time do you get up normally in the morning?
For me, it's usually about 7.
7, okay.
But I go to bed late, so usually I go to bed around 1 a.m. or so.
1 a.m. Yeah. And you start the day with a real breakfast, or just with a coffee, or with a water?
That also varies a lot. I think it's probably true that having a good breakfast is a good idea, but usually I don't have time for that. So sometimes it's made for me, but probably half the time I don't have any breakfast. I had to also have like coffee or something like that.
And a Mars bar with it?
Mars bar, sure. And I'm trying to cut down on sweet stuff. So, but I think I probably should have like an omelet and a coffee or something like that. That seems like probably the right thing. And sometimes I do have that.
And for lunch? Is there lunch?
Yeah. So, lunch is usually served to me during a meeting, and I finish it in 5 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I know, it's a bad habit.
Dinner?
Dinner is where the calories really come into play, because there's, if I have dinner meetings are the worst, because then you eat enough for like 2 people in those things, because you have the appetizer and the main course and all that stuff. So business dinners are like the thing that really, where I probably eat way too much.
But you don't have problems with your weight?
I certainly could be slimmer, I think. Yeah.
What?
Do you work out then? Do you do sports?
I work out once or twice a week. Once or twice.
You should.
I should do it more often, for sure.
And what are you doing? You run through the forest, or?
Run through the forest? No.
Yeah.
Usually just like a little bit on the treadmill or on lifting some weights, I suppose. I think a lot of people think I must spend a lot of time with media or on businessy things, but actually almost all my time, like 80% of it, is spent on engineering and design. So it's developing next generation product. That's 80% of it. I think a lot of people think I'm kind of a business person or something, which is fine. Like, business is fine, but but really it's like at SpaceX. Gwynne Shotwell is Chief Operating Officer. She kind of manages legal, finance, sales, and kind of general business activity. And then my time is almost entirely with the engineering team, working on improving the Falcon 9 and the Dragon spacecraft, and developing the Mars colonial architecture. And then at Tesla, it's working on the Model 3 and some in the design studio, typically half a day a week, dealing with aesthetics and look and feel things. And then most of the rest of the week is just going through engineering of the car itself, as well as engineering of the factory. My time is mostly split. It's split between SpaceX and Tesla, and of course I try to spend it's a part of every week at OpenAI. So I spend basically half a day at OpenAI most weeks, and then I have some OpenAI stuff that happens during the week.
It seems you are working on so many different ends and handling so many different projects in totally different fields. How hard working are you? Do you ever sleep?
I do sleep, yeah. I actually measured it in terms of what the amount of sleep is that I need. I find I need about 6 hours of sleep. So, 5 hours and 55 minutes on average.
Wow.
Yes.
Why do you need such an accurate calculating?
I got an iPhone app and measured it. And it said, on average, I sleep 5 hours and 55 minutes. That's what it said. But I do work a lot. For a while there, I was working over 100 hours a week. Now it's maybe 80 to 90, and then just work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in, 80 to 100 hour weeks every week. Having a having a smartphone is incredibly helpful because that means you can do email during interstitial periods, like if you're in a car, you're walking, in the bathroom, everywhere. You can do email practically when you're awake. The way I generally do it is I'll be working at SpaceX on Monday, and then Monday night flight to the Bay Area, spend Tuesday and Wednesday in the Bay Area, then at Tesla, and then fly back on Wednesday night, spend Thursday and Friday at SpaceX. In the last several months, then I would fly back here on a Saturday and either spend Saturday and Sunday at Tesla or spend Saturday at Tesla and Sunday at SpaceX. Normally I'd be meeting work until like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Every night?
Saturday and Sunday, usually not, but sometimes.
How much do you sleep?
About 6 hours.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not that crazy.
For you, for someone who does as much as you, that's impressive that you can squeeze that in.
Yeah. I've tried sleeping less, but then total productivity decreases.
Yeah. So you feel like 6 is the number where it's...
Yeah, six is, I don't find myself wanting more sleep than 6. If depending upon how well you want to do, and particularly if you're starting a company, you need to work super hard. So what does super hard mean? When my brother and I were starting our first company, instead of getting an apartment, we just rented a small office and we slept on the couch. And we showered at the YMCA, and we're so hot up we had just one computer. So the website was up during the day, and I was coding at night, 7 days a week, all the time. And I sort of briefly had a girlfriend in that period, and in order to be with me, she had to sleep in the office. So work hard, every waking hour. That's the thing I would say particularly if you're starting a company.